You've probably been there, right? You're in the dentist chair, you've just had a cavity dealt with, and then out comes that little wand with the bright blue light. A few beeps, and you're all done. You'd think that filling is going to last for a good long while, maybe 10 years, maybe even more. But what if I told you that on average, it might not even make it to the next World Cup? So why is one of the most common dental procedures out there surprisingly fragile? Well, let's get into it.
We're talking about a procedure that happens over 260 million times a year around the world. These composite fillings are everywhere. But here's the thing. Research is showing they have a surprisingly short lifespan, which creates this massive, costly cycle of replacement and hassle for everyone involved.
Yep, that's the number, 6 years. According to a bunch of studies, the median lifespan of one of these fillings in a back tooth is only about 6 years. And why do they fail? Well, it's usually because of new cavities forming around the edges or the filling itself just cracking.
So what gives? Is the material bad? Is something else going on? Well, researchers have really started to zero in on one critical and often overlooked part of the whole process. And you guessed it, it has everything to do with that little blue light.
It turns out the success of a filling has less to do with the fancy composite material and a whole lot more to do with how it's hardened or cured. The real key isn't just shining a light on it, it's about delivering the perfect amount of light energy.
The fancy scientific term for this is radiant exposure. But, the easiest way to think about it is like baking a cake. It's not enough to have the oven at the right temperature. You also have to leave it in there for the right amount of time so it cooks all the way through. Same deal with a filling. Radiant exposure is just the light's intensity multiplied by the time it's on. And if you get that recipe wrong, the filling is basically half-baked.
Now, this is where it gets absolutely wild. One study found a 6-fold difference in the energy that different dentists delivered, even when they were using the exact same equipment for the exact same amount of time. So it wasn't the tool, it was the person using the tool. Technique is the single biggest variable here.
And they put this to the test with a group of dental students. Before they got any specific training, the energy they delivered was, well, all over the map. I mean, from a super low 1.4 joules all the way up to 17.5. The recommended minimum you want to hit is 16. So you can see a huge number of these attempts just weren't cutting it, creating fillings that were pretty much doomed from the start.
So what happens when a filling doesn't get enough of that light energy? Well, researchers have a wonderfully descriptive and kind of funny name for it. They call it the soggy bottom problem. See, even if the top surface of the filling feels rock solid, if not enough light energy got all the way down to the bottom, the deepest part of the filling is still soft and undercured. It's kind of like a house with a solid-looking roof, but the foundation is just mush. Not good.
To actually study this, scientists use these simulators with tiny sensors placed right where the bottom of the filling would be. This lets them measure exactly how much light energy is actually making it all the way through. And that deep layer, that's where the whole thing succeeds or fails.
And the consequences of a soggy bottom are pretty serious. It makes the filling weaker, so it doesn't bond as well to the tooth and is more likely to wear down and crack. It can even become a great place for bacteria to hang out, leading to more decay. So an undercured filling is, for all intents and purposes, a failing filling.
Okay, but here's the really great news in all of this. This is a totally fixable problem. The solution isn't some brand new material or a magical new light. It's just better training using real-time feedback. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got what can happen. The operator looks away, their hand isn't stable, and the light starts to drift. But on the right, that's perfect technique. They're wearing protective glasses so they can look right at the tooth, and they're using a finger to steady their hand, keeping that light perfectly still and close. These little tweaks make a gigantic difference.
And here is the proof, right here in this graph. This shows one student's performance. That shaky red line at the bottom, that's them before training. The energy delivery is all over the place. But the solid blue line, that's their performance after just one training session with a simulator that gives them instant feedback. Look at that. It's high, it's flat, it's stable. That's a perfect cure. The change is just incredible.
And this wasn't just a one-off thing. Look at the graphs for a whole group of students. The top row is the before data. It's a total mess, just inconsistent lines everywhere. Now look at the bottom row, after training. The lines form this tight, consistent, powerful band. This shows that with the right kind of feedback, anyone can learn to deliver the perfect amount of energy every single time. So how much of a difference are we talking about? Well, in one study, after just a single training session, students were delivering, on average, 35% more light energy. That is a massive improvement in quality from just a little bit of focused instruction.
So what does all this mean for you, the person actually getting the filling? Well, it really changes how you should think about what seems like a simple procedure.
Getting a filling that lasts for a long time isn't automatic. It's not just about having a high-tech tool, it's a skill. It takes real focus, a steady hand, and a deep understanding of the science. All things that come from great training.
So the real secret to a filling that lasts isn't just the material. It's the mastery of that blue light. Getting the right amount of energy, delivered with a steady, focused technique. That's what turns a 6-year fix into a solution that could last for decades. The next time you see that light, you'll know that the most important part is the skilled person guiding it. Because when it comes to a filling that lasts, technique really is everything.
For more information, here are the QR codes to the articles.